All right. Most of you guys did pretty well with the percentage worksheet, and so I wanted to show you an example, though, of how you could have knocked out this percentage worksheet pretty quickly using Excel. And actually, I'm going to use Google Spreadsheets, so we'll get to using that more and more as time goes on. But real quickly, it's going to be the last one there where we were decreasing the amount. We had to figure out the percentage, and so I think that was kind of the toughest one. You had to kind of back some things out. So real quick, I'm going to create that table. And so original amount, percentage decrease, and the new amount. And so we have our numbers. 35. So quickly we're going to populate this with all of our information. And finally 150. And then we don't know the percentage decrease yet. But the new amounts, 19, 7, 81, 21, 4, 47, 115, and 132. And so you want to make sure your numbers are correct. 19, 7, 81, 21, 4, 47, 15, that looks good. 20, 14, 90, 35, 45. Because if your numbers are wrong, then everything you do from that point forward is going to be a mistake. And so percent decrease. Okay, so most of you figured out that first off we need to know what the decrease was. And so we're going to start with our formula, so equals, and we want to know what that cell, or A2, minus that cell equals, right? Okay, so obviously that's going to be 20 minus 19 is 1. All right, then once we have that information, all right, so 1, right? So A2 minus C2 is going to equal 1. Samuel Kahn gave us the trick, right? That if you go algebraically, we'll end up with the difference over the original amount, right? So A2 minus C2 is 1, and we're going to divide that by 20, okay, the original amount. All right, now that is going to give us our percentage of decrease. All right, and so relatively easy if you put it in these terms, whereas the other ones you had to not only figure out what the increase was, but then you had to figure out, in addition to the increase, you had to add that to the original amount. Okay, so in this case, we're just looking for percentage decrease, and then we already know that that's going to be subtracted from 20, which will give us 19. And so I talked about this. It's a little confusing, for sure, but if you get a concept of it, you'll serve yourself pretty well. And having that general sense of knowing, is the number going to be smaller or bigger, or it should be something like this, will inevitably help you. All right, so I'm going to hit enter. All right, and so that gives me 0.5, right, which is in decimal, but if I make that percentage, right, 5%. And so from here, now that I have everything in, I will just drag this down using my fill handle, and I'm done. Ooh, I think this doesn't look good though. Let's see, what happened there? A6 minus C6, right? Should be 3. Oh, my bad. See, I made a mistake. Instead of 20, right, I need to actually put that cell. So let me go back and do that again. So instead of 20, right, instead of that, we want that, right? Because if we leave 20, that's what it's going to be for all those cells, and that only works for this original one there in the first row. So let's try that again. All right, and so again, 1,980, that was a pretty glaring, like, oh my gosh, that can't be right. But so now it's going to reference the cell instead of the number. And so I'll drag that down. There we go, and that's a little better. Okay, all right, and that's it. I mean, we can clean it up from here and do some things. So hopefully you guys are starting to do some of that with your spreadsheets, getting a little more comfortable with that. Come here, we can put a box around it. All right, but that's pretty much it. All right, hope that helps.